All right. Morning. How we doing? Welcome home. Welcome home. Good morning, Jefe. See. The boss. Morning. How we doing? Welcome back. New day, new opportunities. Should be an interesting morning with a little Powell action. Heading into a nice long weekend. Can't forget about that. That's going to be nice. Alrighty. Yeah, nice bounce yesterday, Josh, for sure. That 20 SMA on the ES held well, 43.70. Michael, as always, thank you, my friend, and congrats on your recent success, or I guess not recent, but your continued success, Michael. I very much appreciate those donations. Chef, it's been an honor to support such a good man teaching this old man new tricks. Thanks, Vince. Appreciate your knowledge. Changed me forever. That's awesome, man. That is what it's all about, Chef. That's awesome. Congratulations, Chef. And it's been an honor myself. Thanks for always supporting the streams, the videos. I appreciate that. Good morning from Sarasota. Yeah, I saw your message, Michael. So I appreciate you giving back some of those juicy profits. All right. Well, we'll wait a few more minutes. Wait for some people to jump in. Fort Myers. Nice. When am I going back to Naples? I haven't been to Naples in a little bit now. Definitely not this weekend. Definitely not next weekend. Maybe sometime in July. Later July. Today's going to be amazing. That's the positivity we like to hear, Edward. The DR. All right. Well, interesting action overnight. That's for sure. Interesting action overnight. A little bit of Nvidia news, a little semiconductor news, a little drama over there on the semis. We've seen that before. This kind of, semiconductors restricting the sale of semis to China has come out before, and that was when semiconductors were a lot lower than they are now. So we'll see how it affects it. We're just going to trade it off the levels, right? We're not going to trade, we're not going to go short or long a semiconductor because of news. We're going to play it off technical levels. That's really what matters. So a little bit of a downside on Nvidia overnight, but a very key hold at 400. So if you guys see that this morning, 400, very key hold on Nvidia regardless of the news. So we still have to pay attention to those levels. Jerome Powell, right, at 9:30. I'm not sure exactly when when the market will react to his statements. So it should be sort of interesting this morning. Maybe a little bit choppy at open, sort of waiting on his words. So could be a little bit tricky. We'll have to watch out for that. But yeah, that's about all the drama overnight. We got MU reporting earnings tonight. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. So first things first, let's pull up that economic calendar. Let's take a look at what we got today. It is right here. So what's our ad today? What the hell is this? Greece. Indulge in the flavors of Greece. Visit the Greek pavilion at Summer Fancy Food Show. All right. Who's going to Greece? It's an interesting ad. So Wednesday, that is today. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. And the next day after that is Friday. 8:30, advanced U.S. trade balance, advanced retail inventories, advanced wholesale inventories. I don't think you'll see much there, to be honest. So if there's anything, we'll take a quick look at 8:30, but I don't think you'll get much movement off of this. Jerome Powell speaking at 9:30 a.m. at the open. So, yeah, interesting. The best advice I can give you is just be risk managers. All right, just be risk managers here at open. Tomorrow, Jerome Powell speaking bright and early, before any of us are awake. Maybe some of you on the West Coast are going to bed. He'll be speaking as you go to bed. So that's interesting. We'll see what the futures market looks like tomorrow. GDP tomorrow at 8:30. Jobless claims at 8:30. Pending home sales at 10. Friday, personal income, personal spending, PCE, and then that's the end of your week. So quick update here, guys. I am not going to be on stream Friday, just to let you know. So no stream Friday. No stream Friday. No stream Friday. All right. So no stream here. And I'm really not that upset about it because next week we have a half day on Monday and we have a full day off on Tuesday. So do I think this Friday is going to be that active? Even if it is, it's nice to have some time off. You guys need to I mean, I guess I speak for myself a little bit because of, whole content creation and being here, every day. It's a very easy thing to burn out, right? To do, everyone, no matter what you do in your life, burning out is a very real thing, especially for content creations, because you're doing it every day, every day, every day, same exact thing every day. You can start to hate it. So got to take those days off. Gotta take those vacations. Gotta still live your life. And hopefully that maybe that sort of transpires with someone out there listening. If you're really stuck head down on work, take a day off, man. It could be a refresher. It can make you come back a lot stronger mentally, maybe physically also. Who knows? So. Yeah, going away this weekend, going to have a little vacation, taking advantage of the market being closed Tuesday, taking advantage of a half-day Monday. You got to take advantage. As a trader, you have to take advantage of the market holidays. If you don't take advantage of the market holidays, you're missing out, man. Whenever the market's closed on a weekday, go away. Go do something else. Get outside, because that's your day to refresh. That's your day to relax. So market is a half day on Monday. I don't think anyone should trade on Monday, right? Monday, half day, you're opening at 9:30, you're closing at like 1 o'clock. You got like 3-4 hours of probably sideways action. I don't think you should trade Monday. I don't think you should trade Tuesday because the market's closed. Then you jump back into it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're refreshed. You're ready to go. Right? Markets, probably going to be refreshed as well after a long weekend, and you probably catch some nice action here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So just updating you. No stream Friday, half day Monday, all markets closed Tuesday. Very nice little 3-day. I mean, really, it's a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's a 4-day weekend for traders, and that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. So. Really nice there. Yeah, today, Jerome Powell at open. We'll see if there's anything there. Earnings calendar, just MU at close today. You got Micron. That's really the big one. Tomorrow, Nike. That's really the last two. So, with that said, let's keep it going. Let's get into the calendar. Tesla back over 250. Very interesting today. Big watch here. Tesla had the strength to get back over that 250 level. If that thing holds up today, that is a very potential long entry off 250. Definitely a big watch. Semiconductor drama. So we'll take a look at all of them. We'll take a look at Nvidia, AMD. We'll take a look at MU. We'll take a look at Qualcomm, SMCI. I think is that the SMCI? I think that's it. We'll look at all the semis. Take a look at what happened overnight, and just get a good look at those. Meta, this is a very interesting level that I'm watching today. Nice retest, nice strength yesterday. Microsoft held that uptrend. Apple really strong again yesterday. Apple's just going higher, man. Apple, it just seems like it's pretty rock solid. Apple's just on this upside grind. Own Apple, don't trade it. That's sort of my mindset. That's one of the few things I agree with Jim Cramer. Own Apple, don't trade it. I couldn't agree more with that. Just buy Apple shares, forget about it, and give them to your kids. So Apple, really nice, over a triple top, really key level here today. This Amazon bear flag, this was a setup I took on Monday. I did manage that trade by just taking a small loss because I didn't like what the market did on Tuesday. But that trade after yesterday's upside is now valid once again. Interesting 4-hour flag on Amazon. And Netflix holding that 415, very important as well. We'll look at some other names. Some Dow names have been very strong. If you guys have realized, we've had some really strong Dow moves, some outperformance there. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm trying to think what else is on the top of my head. I think that's it. We'll take a look at financials, energy, see what's going on over there. But yeah, let's get started. So welcome back, guys. Press that like button if you could. It's 1,200 people in here, 300 likes. Let's get that ratio going up a little bit if you guys would be so kind. Press the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're here every day, 8 a.m. Here we go. So title of the live stream today, is the SPY downtrend break. And that is exactly what the SPY did yesterday. So very interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom out here on the hourly. You guys can see that SPY, right? It broke that downtrend that we had. It broke that downtrending channel. It held that 20 SMA like a champ. It held that 431.50 level that we talked about, this previous double top right here, right? And we came back into it, 20 SMA, really nice little, sort of confluence there at that 431.50. You had both previous double top highs turning into demand. You had the 20 SMA, nice little double bottom there, day over day, and you got that nice demand bounce, right? This is one thing, that I gotta say. These, right, every move that you see in the market, there's a reason for it, right? And it's not just rigged. It's not because it's like, oh, what the hell's happening? This makes a lot of sense, right? This makes a lot of sense in regards to levels, right? Previous double top, 20 SMA, double bottom, day over day. It makes a lot of sense, right? And if you go into the 5-minute chart and you see the morning price action, it was pretty resilient, right? So I did short this morning drop on the NASDAQ. But there was one thing that we were talking about in the chat. If you guys were in the live voice chat yesterday in the Discord, we were saying this price action does not look very slippery, right? It's very resilient. The price action would not give up, right? You had some downside in the morning, but it was very clearly not wanting to give up, right? It was sort of that resilient. Every dip was sort of just getting wicked back to the upside. So you can see right here, we had big drops, but it just wouldn't give up, right? We had big drops, but it just wouldn't give up. There was no clear slippery action as we approached that 20 SMA on the ES yesterday. So ultimately, right, when you do this for the first hour and a half of the market, right, eventually, if you're just going to hold this demand here, eventually there's going to be an accumulation of buyers. And that's pretty much what happened yesterday. So you saw this 20 SMA. You knew that demand was below. Right, we talked about not shorting into that level. I wanted to see that morning bounce, right, to short into the morning bounce. That's sort of where I made my money yesterday. What we talked about on the NASDAQ pretty much worked perfectly, and we'll go over that in a second. But that ES just held that 20 SMA very, very nicely. Now, very key levels right here, right? This is honestly a pretty easy setup today. I'm not going to lie, right? It's very obvious what's going on right here. You can see the 435, right? 435, 435, 435, 435, right? You have the break, right? And what are you doing? You are sort of retesting this 435. So, very easy today. If we are above 435, you are not looking to short the market, right? We are not shorting the market back into Friday's highs, back into Monday's highs. We're not shorting it back into last Tuesday's lows. We're not shorting it back into last Thursday's or 2 Thursday lows, right? This Thursday back in June 15th, right? We're not going to short into those levels, right? We are back above that level. This has sort of given you that green light that, okay, we've broken supply. Right, we've broken the previous week highs. Right, this is Monday's highs. This is Friday highs. We broke above them. Now we are trying to turn it into support, right? And it's no coincidence that this SPY is trying to maintain above this level today, right? That's a break and retest attempt at a hold. So if you see the market sort of do that dance this morning where it just won't give up, right? Don't enter shorts here because this is potential demand. If you break under 435, that's where I think you could get that downside. You might want to put a line here at this previous day high, right? That's sort of where I would watch. So I would make sure you have a line at previous day high as well. That is Monday's highs is 434.60. So I wouldn't mind having a little zone there between 434.60 and 435, right? I want to have my zone right there, and I want to know that if we're still in the zone, then we're still above previous day highs, right? And I'm not going to short into previous day highs. The same way I do not like to short, or I don't like to long into previous day lows, right? So I don't want to long anything into the previous day low. I don't want to short anything into the previous day high. Excuse me. So very key little zone here, right? Very key little zone. 435, 434.60, previous day high, 435 key level. As long as we're above that level, we have to be careful of going short on this ES, on this SPY. If you hold this zone, right, I think you can try again for that 437, but we can also see, right, look at how tough that 437 level was yesterday, right? So look at that right there, 437, 437, 437. So you know your zone today. You know your range, right? We already know our range today. Our range is 437 to 435. It's about a 2-point range. It's very clear, right? You can very visibly see this 2-point range, and you're going to either make decisions within it or look for the breaks of either side, right? You're either going to long for 435 into 437. You're either going to short under 435 for more downside. You're either going to play supply rejections at 437, right? You could look for that. If you get a pop today, you could look for the supply at 437 again. Or if you really want to be long, I would love to see a little break and hold over 437. That would be your next confirmation for further upside into that 439. If you can get a break and hold over this Wednesday high, this Thursday high, and yesterday's high, right? If you get over Wednesday's highs, Thursday's highs, yesterday's highs, if you turn that into support, right, that's your confirmation for that upside continuation. So 437, 435, very clear SPY levels there today. We'll go to the ES now. It's clear as day here as well. You guys can see, here's your break of downtrend on the ES, right? Very nice, clear break. Hold of that 20 SMA, double bottom, previous double top highs, very clear, right? And where are we holding today? 4,400 to 4,425, about a 25-point range on the ES here. You can see previous highs, previous highs, previous highs. So if you long today, right, at 4,400, you better be a profit taker at least at 4,425, right, because that's a potential rejection point. We could just see a little 25-point move that gets given back. That's very possible. And there's no excuse to just say, oh, this is rigged, right? No, it's not rigged, right? You longed into supply, you didn't take profits, and it turned back on you. Very much a possible move today. That is not something that's rigged. That's the market. You have to be able to react to these things, right? So if you move over, if you get a long off 4,400 and you don't take profits at 25 because you're like, oh, we're going to new highs, go to the moon, baby, and then this does this, right? That's just your own fault, right? So 4,425, very clear supply. 4,400, very clear demand. 25-point range, try to trade within it. If you don't like to trade in channels, then you look for the break and hold of either side, right? You look for either the 4,425 hold, you look for the downside under 4,400. If we lose 4,400 today, then I think that slippery downside could come back in, right? If we fail to hold this move yesterday, there is going to be a lot of weak-handed longs here that get sort of taken out, right? So everyone that was chasing the longs yesterday, like, oh, here we go, chasing longs up here. If we break back under 4,400, I think you could see that panic set back in, right? And you could give back that move. So 4,400, that's your really, really important hold. It's a very key psych level as well. You can put the whole thing from like 4,403 to 4,400. It's a very, very psych level, right? That's a very key level. Everyone's sort of watching 4,400. If you get back below that, things could sort of switch up. So make sure you're watching that 4,400. All right, so 4,400, 4,425, keep an eye on that, right? That's your zone. Pretty clear levels today, though. I like when it's this clear, right? Very, very clear. NASDAQ. So the trade I took, or at least the idea, you guys saw my video yesterday. In the live stream yesterday, what did we talk about? We said, let's look for the morning pop into 14,960, and let's look for the supply rejection, right? That was the exact sort of thing. That was like my whole game plan yesterday. We got it, but you couldn't marry it, right? We got it, but it was not a marryable, marryable. I don't even know if that's a word. It was not a position that you just held on to, right? So you got that morning pop. You got that very clear supply at 14,960 that stepped in. I took advantage of this move, right? And I took profits into this move, thankfully, right? Because you can see the rest of the day, We just did not give up this pre-market low, right? This pre-market low just stood heavy, right? 14.9, it just would not give up. After seeing this, triple bottom here, you need to start to get the idea. You need to pick up on those context clues. And it's like, hey, market does not want to break down this 14.9. We continue to triple bottom at this level. We have that key demand below, right? Market might be trying to hold up here. And you can see that price action was very resilient yesterday. Eventually, it just sort of took over. Look at what happened after we broke 15,000, right? This was sort of your trigger for further upside. Right here, you can see 15,000. Right there, you got above 15K, right? And look at that sort of maintain above 15K. That was for 1152 to around 1224. So that's about a 30-minute consolidation, right? That's sort of what you're looking for. You're saying, hey, I see the NASDAQ just 30 minutes of consolidation above 15K. That might be my trigger for another long, right? And a nice little, I don't know, you could call this a little wedge. You can call this a little bull flag, right here. And that nice pop, right off 15K. That was our key level. So after you got above that 15K previous demand, after you got back above here, right, you held it once again, and then bam, very clear futures levels sort of guiding the path there yesterday. Now, where did we move into? Look, right, where do we move into? The same damn level, right? The same exact area, 15,150. Rejections. And once again, no surprise, rejections. Triple top over the last 3 days. Same level. So if we go to the 30-minute chart, right, sure, upside was nice yesterday. But did we do anything? Right? Not really. We just sort of mean corrected. That's really all we did. In all honesty, all we did was correct to the mean. So we had a little bit of a overreaction to the downside. We have a little overreaction to the upside. And where do we stand? At the same damn place we were from Wednesday of last week, Thursday of last week, Friday of last week, Monday, and now we're here again Tuesday into Wednesday, right? So this, again, is something I've been talking about in the Discord. I don't know if I've brought it up here. The swing trading market is getting a little bit sketchy for me. I've been very focused on scalps. I really don't hold anything overnight over the last few days. I don't like what we're doing here, right? I don't like this for swing trades because every single day something new can come, right? If you swung, let's say you swung into, Monday, you got sort of crushed. If you swung into Tuesday because you're like, oh, more downside, you got right back crushed again, right? And so today, anything's on the table, right? Anything is on the table here. Once again, if you're in this channel, anything is on the table day over day, right? Because you're just channeling sideways. Honestly, yes, there's been some big moves, but if you'd mean this all out, if you just sort of average this entire move out over the last, say, 6 trading days, you would have a flat line, right? That's just a flat line of price action. So careful there, right? Make sure you keep that in mind when you enter trades, right? These are things that need to go on in your mind, right? These are things that need to go on in your mind to make these crucial decisions of whether you're risking money or not. So for me, when I'm like, okay, maybe I'll take a swing trade, and then I'm like, oh, hold on a second, NASDAQ's really not moving. I need to make sure I consider these things before I take any trades. So today, pretty clear levels on the NASDAQ, 15K, 15,150. It's about a 15-point range. That's pretty damn obvious here. Watch supply at 15,150. Watch demand at 15K, right? If you get above 15,150, then I think you could look for that upside into that 240. If you reject 150, you already know what you're doing here. If you demand bounce here, you already know what you're doing here, right? And if you get back below 14,960, right? If you get back below, right, this low, if you drop back below that low and break the 20 SMA today, then things get a little spicy, right? So watch out for that. So very clear here. Have these levels on your chart. Extremely clear levels today. Keep an eye on them. QQQ, I'm not going to go over the whole spiel again. I'll just give you the levels. 365, 360. 5-point range on the Qs. Watch them. All right? 5-point range on the Qs. Watch the zone. Dow Jones, nice strength yesterday. Where did it get back above? It got back above a very important demand here, right? Look at where the Dow got back above yesterday. This is very crucial. So the Dow was able to regain this 34.1. It was able to regain this demand here, able to regain this demand here, able to get back above this low, able to get back above the 20 SMA. So do I think the Dow can outperform here? Yeah, absolutely. If the Dow sort of holds this 20 and this 34.1, right, I think this can push again. So keep an eye on that 34.1 on the Dow. Keep an eye on that 20 SMA. You've seen some outperformance on Dow stocks. So could this outperform here? I think it definitely could, right? So you also broke this very clear downtrend, right, on the Dow here. Very clear downtrend break. Back over the 20. Absolutely think this could hold. If this holds 34.1, I'd look for continuation. The other thing that was very, very nice yesterday was that IWM 180 retest we talked about. We said as long as IWM is over 180, it's still on a bullish retest. That is exactly what it did. All right, so IWM popped back down to 180, held the 100, held the 200 SMA, held the previous 4-hour rejection points, right? And yeah, very nice little hold at that 180 level. So keep an eye on that Russell, 180 break and retest, nice hold to the 100, 200 SMA, nice little hold there on the Russell. All right, let's get into some stonks. Tesla, 5 minute. Do I want to go 5? Let's go 30 minute. Let's get a little bit more time here. That's good there. All right, so 250, right? That is very, very nice, right? That is very nice reclaim there. I'm lying if I said I'm not interested in longing here off 250 today, right? You can clearly see demand. You can clearly see that. You can see the hold here. We got back below it, right? Shorts piled up, right? Shorts piled up down here. Absolutely, they piled up down here, right? Back into the 20 SMA. You're sort of squeezing back over 250. There's going to be a run for the gates here on Tesla on the short side if this thing holds 250. Absolutely watching to see if demand steps up today. If 250 holds strong, I am not opposed to longing Tesla here back towards this 258 level, right? 258 supply, have to be careful of that. 258, 258, right? 258. So very important supply above. But if you can get long near that 250, I would look to see if some buyers step up here. You don't just close your eyes and press the buy button. You have to take some time to read the price action at 250. If you start to see those wicks, if you start to see that demand hold, then you look for that long play, stop under that level. You can also see this is actually a pretty nice little retest here at 247. So right here, if I zoom in, let me go to the 15, right? Look at this little 247 hold in the pre-market after hours here. So 247, right? 247. Look at this. Look at this little retest yesterday at 247. All right, that's pretty nice as well. So 247 hold key as well. Back over 250. I would look to see if the buyers step up over 250 today. All right. If they do, I think you could look for that 258. All right, you could look for that 258. Yeah. Other thing that's sort of on my mind is whether this is a flag pattern here. All right, I don't really think it's that clean, but is this a little downtrend flag pattern break today? Interesting, right? Is this a little downtrend that we are breaking today over 250? If so, this could be even more of a bullish sort of move here on Tesla. So definitely watching 250 today, without a doubt. And so will everyone else and their mothers be watching 250 today on Tesla. So be careful of that. 4-hour chart, Nvidia. So this is interesting. Big downside on Monday, right? You got your bounce back into. Where did we bounce back into, guys? Let's all take a second and look at what was the retest level. 420. I mean, it was absolutely perfect. Breakdown, bounce back into 420. You retest the previous lows, right? The previous channel low at 420. You guys should know that level. We've made some jokes about it. That should be engraved in your mind. Look at the push into 420, and obviously, if you took shorts off 420, right, you were blessed with the market news gods, because that is what happens at times, right? That happens at times. that you just really can't explain it. It happens. It seems like key news comes out at key levels. It's a conspiracy theory that I have. I'm pretty sure it's not even a conspiracy theory because I'm pretty sure it's true. But yeah, I mean, if you said, hey, I'm going to short Nvidia here on a break and retest of 420 for a rejection, you go, you're going to dinner and your girlfriend taps you on the shoulder and you're like, holy shit, look at Nvidia. That's just a beautiful little situation that you got yourself into. It happens. It has not happened to me. I have not been blessed by the news gods in a swing trade. But damn, that would have been nice if you did. If you did, congratulations. You got a nice little lucky downside there. But yeah, downside there into 400. That's going to be key though, right? That's going to be key. You got to break under 400. If you do not break under 400, Nvidia could do the dance here. It could do the dance. So if you are short Nvidia overnight, you might want to think about taking some profits here, right? Your contract should be juiced up. You should have a nice profit on them. Be careful, just holding into 400 because 400 is very much a potential demand zone, right? And a very psych level here on Nvidia. It could hold. Right? So be aware of that. 400, very key level, big psych level. Watch that 400. If you hold it today, be careful of just saying, right, you can't come into today and say, I'm going all in on shorts on Nvidia because of this news, and you just hold 400 and you bounce off of it, and you're like, that doesn't make sense. Why is Nvidia going up when it had bad news? Well, it's because it's holding 400, right? It's all very explainable. So 400, it has to break. If you break that level, then I think you could get that action. So look for the 400 break. Look to see if that turns into a rejection today. If it does, I like it, right? I like that little rejection play. That's definitely something I'll be watching today. But if you hold that 400, just be careful of that. Supply's above at 420. We got a little bit of, it looks like we got a little rejection going on here around this 20 SMA now too. So I might just keep a little line there, that 406.50. I might keep a little line there. You got like this general sort of rejection, this pre-market rejection here. You got some sort of chop around this area. You got this little rejection yesterday here, and you can see the pre-market sort of rejecting that 406.50 as well. So I'm going to keep that on the screen as well, just for the short term. All right, so 400, that's it. That's the big level. AMD. So you can see AMD had that downside as well because of the news last night. U.S. potentially restricting semiconductor sales to China. AMD's in a bleed out, man. AMD is in a bleed out. So let's look at the previous lows. That's really all we just continue to do here is where's the previous lows and can they reject? So you guys can see AMD popped yesterday. Where did it pop into? I mean, it doesn't get much cleaner than that. 111, right? 111, little double top there. Very clear. You can see right here, our previous lows were right around this 107.50. So look at this right here, this 107.50 level. Look at this potential retest coming in right now. Look at this potential retest coming in right now. Previous lows, previous lows, previous lows. Triple bottom, right? Triple bottom. And what did it do at the triple bottom this morning? It broke down, it retested, and it turned it into a rejection point. That is very telling, right? So if you're looking at AMD, right, you're looking to see, do we stay below the triple bottom? Do we bear flag here a little bit, right, into that triple bottom? And do we break down once again? So we'll see, right? Just keep an eye on that 107.50. If you get back above 107.50, then I would not look for shorts, right? Because then you are potentially holding a previous triple bottom. So that's your level on AMD today, 107.50. See if that thing stays below that triple bottom from Friday, Monday, and Tuesday of this week. All right. MU has earnings today. It's very interesting setup into earnings. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I've ever seen such a clean setup into earnings. Look at this little break and retest in the earnings. I'm not going to influence anyone to play this. I don't think technical analysis like this really even matters into earnings. That's sort of my opinion, right? But you are holding a very key 64 level on MU here. You can see a previous major rejection point, right? And a very key support triple bottom at the exact same level, right? So rejection, rejection, triple top rejection, and you can see 64 has turned into a very solid hold. So earnings today, how much does this technical analysis sort of matter into earnings? I would say not really at all. So be careful doing that. But that is a very interesting 64 level there on MU. Let's look at TSM. I feel like TSM should get the hardest hit from this news, being that it's Taiwan Semiconductors. I don't know, exactly the details of their, their sort of, their ban that they're trying to do here on semis. Do I think it blows over as well? Yeah, I'm sort of the guy that thinks everything like that blows over eventually, because that would just be it would just be a total kill for like huge companies. So do I think that blows over? Yes, but who knows? TSM very clearly rejecting 103. It's been a shit trade, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, right? This price action is pretty shitty. I haven't really traded TSM in a while because of just this really slow, shitty downside. But if there is more weakness on semis today, I think TSM should get a little bit more of a hit from this news. You might try to retest that 98, 97 area. It's very possible. Very clear rejection at the 103 yesterday. So I would say watch previous day lows. It's exactly 100. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be key then. That's pretty nice. That's an easy watch then. 100 psych. All right. Nice 100 psych level. So watch previous day lows at 100. That's what I'd look for on TSM. If you lose that 100, you might get that continuation. Qualcomm's the last semi that I'll look at here. You know what? I'm not even going to look at Qualcomm. SMCI is one of the hot ones, one of the ones that's ran pretty aggressively. It's sort of sitting right at this key 220, right? 220 right there. So keep an eye on that 220 on SMCI. Anyways, semiconductors in the hot seat this morning. Keep an eye on them. Could definitely be some opportunities on the semis as they are in the government hot seat. All right. Hourly chart on Meta. Very interested in this little break and retest of 284 today. You got this little flag pattern sort of forming here, right on the break and right on the retest of 284. So if you hold this 284 today, I'm intrigued, right? And here's the reason, right? You can see 284 previous highs, right? Previous highs, previous highs, previous highs, previous highs. All right, how many times do I have to say it? Previous highs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Meta rejected 284. Right, and now look at what we're doing this morning. We broke above it. We came back into it. We wicked right off of it this morning. If you stay above 284, 285 area, I am interested for a potential little pullback long entry. If you see something like this start to form, I'm interested in that. So let's see. Right, that's something I'm watching today. That's, of course, going to require the market to be strong, right? If the market breaks down today, then they're not going to play this, right? You're still watching futures levels, of course. So 284, 285 zone, watching that hold on Meta today. If it holds, right, looking for maybe that push back towards that 290 supply high, right? Something along these lines, back into this 290 here, and then taking profits into that push, right? So keeping an eye on that today. Looking for this Meta 284 hold. Very interesting in my opinion. Microsoft. Does Microsoft gain? I'm trying to think of what stocks. Let me know in the comments. Here's a little community conversation instead of bullshitting about random stuff. Here's a little question. What stocks do you think would benefit from AI or from semiconductor sales to China on semiconductor for semis? I don't know if there's you know, and Nvidia's US based. I'm pretty positive, but they obviously have big sales in China. You have to sort of see, you got to look at like balance sheets and see what semiconductors have most of their business in the US, right? Which semiconductors have majority or a large percent of their business from sales in the US. I don't know. That could be something interesting. Maybe Microsoft, right? Microsoft sort of got a push overnight from that data from that news last night, sort of went the opposite way of Nvidia. So is that something? Maybe. But sort of keeping an eye here on this Microsoft long-term trend that held once again yesterday, right? You guys can see right here, this long-term trend held again on Microsoft. So you moved lower, right? What's UMC? Yeah, it's a $8 stock. Intel? Yeah, Intel, maybe. They're US based, but do they have large sales into China? That's what matters. It doesn't matter if it's US based. It really matters about the percent of sales that are in US. That's something I'll have to look up. But anyways, let's just continue. 4 hour, all right? Interesting, right? Interesting. So keeping an eye on this 338, right? 338, rejection. Could reject again. It very well could reject again, but you can see that this uptrend has been holding very well on Microsoft. So I'm interested to wait for the bigger move here, right? I don't want to trade within here. I'm not really interested in trading this Microsoft back and forth because it's pretty difficult and the intraday price action is sort of shit. I'm really just waiting for, sort of this breakout or this breakdown. That's what I'm going to sort of monitor here on Microsoft. It's getting into this very tight zone, right? You can see that the wedge is sort of tightening here. I really just want to see, I'm going to set an alert here. This is how I would play this, right? Alert above 339 or let's say below previous day lows, right? Alert below 328, right? So sort of watching, waiting for a move on either side of this tight consolidation range. I would keep an eye on it. I think there is a move here coming. This is getting very tight. May not happen today. You might just have another day of chop and shitty action. But I would keep your eyes on this Microsoft chart. Uptrend is getting very tight into this flat top. There's going to be a move here at some point. Apple. So Apple, another strong day yesterday. Apple's just sort of been grinding here. 30-minute chart on Apple. I want to sort of show you the level that we're above here. So Apple had a previous very aggressive wick high here. My neck, man. Oh, sitting here looking at the screen straight without moving my neck. 187.50, right? You can see right here. Pretty key rejection point. You have a rejection point again, 187.50. You got a little above it here, but I'm going to call it 187.50. And right now today, right, look at what you're sort of getting here. So you got a little break above 187.50. Do we hold above it? All right, do we hold above it? That's something I will be watching today. Apple, what did we say yesterday about Apple? Right? If anyone remembers, you get a cookie. We said yesterday, watch Apple as a proxy to the market. Right? If Apple maintains over 185, we said this verbatim. We said if Apple remains over 185, watch it as a proxy to the market because Apple maintaining 185 could potentially move the market higher. Right? And so what did Apple do yesterday? It maintained 185 like a champ, right? And Apple actually pretty much never had downside yesterday. You had a straight green move out of the gates, a little bit of consolidation, right? Honestly, just a little bit of a bull flag here, and then just a complete rip. So Apple, once again, being sort of that proxy to the market, sort of holding up this market, keep an eye on it again. If Apple maintains over 187.50 today, if Apple maintains over this previous high right here, if Apple does not lose that 187.50 high, be careful, looking for weakness on the market. If Apple just does this little flag again, right, and sort of maintains here, you could see another push, right? So keep an eye on that 187.50 on Apple. I always watch Apple on a daily basis, even if I don't trade it, right? I just always watch it to see what it's doing because it definitely has a lot of weight on the market. Amazon, 4-hour chart here, very interesting. So I took this trade on Monday, and I'm not, I got faked out of it. And I don't think there's anything wrong. I'm actually happy I got out of it because obviously Monday we broke down aggressively. The NASDAQ broke down, broke key levels, and I said, I'm not going to go long here again, right? I don't want this. I'm going to take my small L. I think I lost about $100 on it and just move on. All right, so I did get out of this Amazon trade, but the concept here is still very much valid, right? My concept here was this little flag pattern that has been forming over the last few days. You can see yesterday we held that 127 here, right? Really nice 127 hold. Previous highs, all these 4-hour consolidation highs, and look at the hold yesterday at 127. Pretty nice, right? Very clear, very consistent level, right? Very clear hold. So interested, right? Not in love, with the current market conditions, for a swing trade, but interested. You can see a little downtrend, little break of that trend yesterday. You still need to get over this 130, 150 area for a real strong move. But this is a pretty interesting hold of that 127 level. If we go to the hourly chart, we can see it very, very clearly, right? Look at that. All these wick rejections. Look at the hold that came in at that exact level on Monday. So intriguing, something to watch, right? If you maintain over this 127, look to see if Amazon lights up again. Netflix. So this was an interesting one yesterday. I took a little YOLO on Netflix yesterday. I did close it though for a small little gain. It was like a $50 position. I was looking to see if I could trade the 415 flush, and we did get that, right? The contracts were up like 70% right here. So we did catch that little Netflix flush there under that 415 level. But in classic Netflix behavior, the classic Netflix behavior is just a rip back above, right? And that's just very resemblant of Netflix and the market strength that we've been seeing. Look at the hold at 415 yesterday, right? This is pretty interesting. So 415, right? 415, right? Look at the hold. And what it makes me even more confident about the hold is you did slip it, but the buyers defended the hell out of it, right? You did slip it, but look at that defense, right? Look at that defense on Netflix there. And look at the 415 hold in the pre-market today. So, yeah. This is an interesting little curl that we got going on here. On Netflix. 415, very strong hold. If this thing gets over 427 today, and Netflix starts to do a Netflix-like move, this could be an interesting one. So look for 427 today. That's looking pretty interesting. I said interesting like 5 times. Let me think of a different word. That's a very enticing little setup here. You can see right here, 427. If you can get above that level, I'd keep an eye on this one. 427, look for that hold. All right. So that's Netflix. That's just about all the setups that I like today. Nvidia 420 or 400, Tesla 250. AMD under previous day lows. Keep an eye on that. That Amazon 4-hour flag. That Netflix 427 level. Yeah, I mean, the Dow stocks have been strong. Watch Costco over 530. If Costco retests 530 and holds, that's going to look for more upside, right? Watch 530 to turn into support on cost. This thing has been up for like 5 straight weeks since the wedge break. XLE still holding demand there around that 76. That's about all I got. Huh. I haven't looked at this weekly chart on the ES. That's a pretty bullish weekly chart. Look at this. Can I delete? I wish I could not delete all these levels. That weekly chart is just sort of retesting that breakout point on the ES. That's sort of interesting there. Look through the lines. Read between the lines here. You can sort of see the break, the downside, the hold this week. This is very resembling of maybe a little, yeah. So that's a larger term idea there on the ES, though. Weekly chart on the ES. Can I delete those lines? There we go. All right. That's it. Can we get 1,000 likes? Can we get 1,000 likes? 1,600 of us here. 1,000 likes would be very much appreciated. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I hope you continue to enjoy the live streams. I hope you learned something from them. I hope it helps you along your trading journey. Yeah. Be part of the 2 like crew. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for all the support. Tomorrow is the last live stream of the week. Friday, no live stream. Make sure you guys know that. Friday, no live stream. Monday, no live stream. Tuesday, no live stream. Friday, I'm away. Monday's a half day, and I'm not going to even think about the market. I will not even think about the market on Monday because it's a half day and it's sort of pointless. Tuesday, market's closed. Enjoy your weekend. Let's have a good live stream tomorrow. Last live stream for a little bit. Maybe we'll get 1,000 likes before I even start. Who knows? Probably not. But have a fantastic day. Be safe out there. Yeah. Steven, Alejandro, DraftKings. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.